Hey guys, what's going on? Today we're going to be doing just a little walkthrough of a couple things in the driveway. I got some work to do to the Mazda, so I got it up on the jacks already, and I'm basically going to be fixing an exhaust leak kind of today, or in the next coming videos. I'm probably not going to be able to get to the welding and such today, but at least what I'll be able to do is show you how I figured out, one, I have an exhaust leak, and two, my plan of attack of what I'm going to do with it and how I'm going to fix it. So I got the Mazda right here. It's up on the jacks. Got this sick new jack right here. And basically, I also got this new banner. Shout out to Majestic. Got some sick banners. Match the rims. Came out real nice. One thing that you're gonna notice: those blocks underneath the tires. I have to put those blocks underneath the car to be able to jack the car up with this thing. I usually go from the rear motor mount and lift the entire front of the car up at once, because doing it side by side, it's hard to get your jack stands underneath there at the pinch weld, since you're supposed to be putting the jack at the pinch weld, but instead I go from the front, do it from the rear motor mount, and these drop right here, which makes it a ton easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it up so you guys can hear what it sounds like right now. Alright, so now we're at the back of the car. Usually all of the noise would be coming out of the tailpipe. Alright, not so bad, right? Now, if you can tell, as we progressively get towards the front of the car, it gets louder. Flex pipe right around here, if you can see where my finger is at, right around this area is where I have a massive exhaust leak. It actually really sucks, and because of that exhaust leak, I've got a check engine light on. Now you might be asking, well, this thing sounds pretty cool with an exhaust leak. One, it's not good for your car, I'd say, most opinions. Two, I have an emissions test that I have to do soon, and that check engine light has to come off. So before I get into how I'm going to fix this, another way, except for getting underneath your car, crawling under there and seeing if you have an exhaust leak or not, and locating that, one way to just see if you have an exhaust leak in general is to take a rag, any rag, I don't care what kind you use, and you're just going to shove it in here. Now right now what this is telling me, since this is not getting shot back out and the car's not making any weird noises, is that I have an exhaust leak where all the noise is coming out from. If your car doesn't have an exhaust leak, this should shoot right out pretty much, or have some sort of force towards it. This thing had nothing holding it back from staying inside of that tailpipe. Alright, well, now we got done with how to diagnose it. Here's my plan of attack. Now I know a lot of Mazdas actually have this exact same issue, because there's a flex pipe that is on your headers. Now, oddly enough, I don't have stock exhaust at all from the engine back. I have a MagnaFlow header on here. That's a catted MagnaFlow header. One thing you're going to know is the way that I'm about to do this is going to be a little different than you're probably going to have to. The stock header that is on this car, pretty much you have to chop it to get it out of the car. When you look it up on, if anyone knows what all data is, it's like tells you all the data about your car. basically, but you have to pay for such a subscription. I don't know if there's any free ones, but all data says that you have to actually lift the engine slightly with one of, I can't remember what kind of a hoist it is, but it's one that connects to your strut towers here and here, and it lifts the engine slightly. Don't mind my cover here, it's really dirty. I just stuck it back on. I used to never have it on. But now it's on there for the moment. But to get that exhaust manifold out, you have to raise the engine slightly, or if you're going to be replacing it, I chop mine just straight up with the Sawzall, and it slid right on out. The MagnaFlow ones should be very, very, very close to dropping in. You might have to wiggle them around quite a bit to be able to slide them in. There's a lot of like room back here to play with, and really what you're trying to achieve is to lift this up and out and be able to flex the pipe and everything out as well with it. Here's what I'm going to run into. There's a flex pipe in there, I just said that, right? I'm going to get rid of the flex pipe because this is the second flex pipe that I've gone through. One on the stock headers, and two, actually no, this is the third one I've gone through. One on the stock headers when I bought the car, they finally broke off after a while and I had a massive exhaust leak. Two, the stock one from MagnaFlow came off as well. And then now this is the third flex pipe. I welded this flex pipe in and it's still not sealing up correctly and it broke. Granted, this flex pipe that's in the car right now is from eBay. It was $7. Who knows if that's going to make that big of a difference at the end of the day, but it could have. So what I'm going to end up doing is I went to Advanced Auto Parts. I recently switched. I went from AutoZone to Advanced. I hate AutoZone now because there's some jackass that works there, and I don't like him. But what's nice about Advanced is they have stuff for like people who do things to their cars. AutoZone is like you go in there, you ask them what you need, you leave. They have at Advanced some cool stuff like pieces of exhaust pipe. So what I'm going to be able to do with this is re-weld that manifold with this solid pipe, and hopefully it turns out, nice. There's also one other thing that I'm thinking of as we're sitting here talking. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to have a bend in it or not, or if I'm just going to have a straight piece that I'm going to be able to cut, or if I'm going to have to bend that piece to form to what the car wants it to go, or how the car wants it to go. It looks like the header swoops under nicely with this bend right here from the headers, but I'm not sure. I don't know if there's a second bend, because you got to imagine it's on a slight down angle and it's got to go up like this and back out towards the back of the car, because obviously it's going out that way now instead of down this way like it's been doing. Sounds cool, kind of, depending on how old you are, I'd imagine. I'm 20 years old. I like loud stuff. My neighbors, that one especially, does not like it. So we're going to try to fix that. So today I have school in a little bit. I'm not going to be doing much as far as taking anything off. But the next time you see this thing, the header should be off, and I should be welding on that pipe that I just showed you and try to fix that thing. And just before we're all finished for the day, I don't think I showed you guys the welder that I bought. It's a really shitty one, kind of, on whatever your opinion is on welders. It was 90 or 100, in between 90 and 100 bucks, shipped from, I think it was either eBay or Amazon, one of the two. I think I got it off of eBay. But here it is. FDS MIG 130. It's a flux core wire fed welder. Basically it works off the arc, so it's has a ground that you connect to your metal. Make sure that the metal is nice and clean where you ground it to, and obviously wherever you're going to be welding to, and that connection between the two points that you're making creates an arc at the spot of the flux core wire. The reason why the flux core works without gas is because if anyone has soldered before or any sort of dealing with flux is a heat accelerant. So basically you're using that flux core wire so that it heats up the metal enough to where it penetrates through. But that's where the whole wire feed and amperage and blah 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 gets really crazy because there's more room for error with the flux core than a lot of the other things. And the flux core makes the worst welds out of all of the other kind of welders. MIG or TIG. TIG is the best, obviously, but that takes the most amount of skill. I have 10 out of 100. You know, I'm here compared to most people who are up here as far as welding goes. I just bought that thing. I've never welded before, minus what I've been practicing on. I originally started practicing on this door over here, just doing some random shit to it just to, you know, have some metal to work with. And then, as some people might have seen in a previous video, this Civic has a shit ton of rust that goes all the way under here and to here. We're not going to touch that bash bar, but basically what I did the other day was I grabbed an angle grinder and lopped all of it off. So what we're working with here is some nice new metal, pretty much. And I look like I got some rust coming through here that I gotta take care of soon. Yeah. But these are my welds. They're not the best at all. They're really shitty. But that sounds pretty together. I get some more here. I'm gonna chop this all out and square this off and put a nice plate here. I might just lop this entire thing off and redo it, to be honest with you too. So to wrap up the video that you just saw, we just went through and kind of figured out what the plan of attack was for this exhaust work that needs to be done. The next video following up is going to be me taking that piece out, showing you kind of how difficult it is to get it out. And then after that, we're going to be welding up the new setup that I'm going to be kind of doing my own design on, mostly. I'll be using my own parts and pieces and then adding flanges to the already existing system and see where we get to go with that. But overall, thank you guys for watching, and there'll be like probably a 3 or 4 part video to the series, and hopefully you guys learn something from it, or maybe it'll fix your same Mazda's exhaust issues that you possibly could have had in the past. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you next time.